Hello and welcome to another O&DR Modurol video. This is video MT18 in our series of XK8 videos detailing the project where we're trying to convert our automatic Jaguar XK8 to manual. Now in this video we're going to break it down to sections or chapters as normal. First of all, we'll talk a little bit about how I got my hands on some manual Jaguar pedal boxes, which I assume are from an XJS, which is part of that process has actually made me completely redesign the whole pedal box to improve the leverage and adjust the pedal or the cylinder stroke, which we'll talk about. And then lastly, we brought up some issues in video MT15 and we resolved all those. So hopefully I can now share those with you and then get the thing painted and get it in the car. Okay, first of all, how did I get my hands on these manual pedal boxes? Well, it's a bit of a long story, but I had David from Cube Branch call me up and ask me to help them, or if it was possible to help them, because they're doing a manual conversion for an Aston Martin Vanquish, which is the same gearbox as I'm trying to use, which is pretty handy. And he'd been trying to use these pedal boxes unsuccessfully on the conversion of a left-hand drive Vanquish. And to be honest, the packaging of the master cylinder is pretty horrendous. So I'm trying to help him out with that. I popped up there with some brackets I thought might work. They didn't, but we're in the process of adjusting that design to make it work. So we're trying to supply a left-hand drive set of brackets for an Aston Martin Vanquish. But there you go. So they actually had these pedal boxes. Oh, Damien, if you want to, go away, take these away with you and see if they help in our design. So, albeit previously I got my hands on a Jaguar XJS automatic pedal box, there's nothing like the real thing. I had been trying to reverse engineer from photographs of previous fabrications and XJS pedal boxes. But I've got my hands on the real thing, and now I've reverse engineered these. I've measured them all up, put it all on CAD. It's not scanned. Don't get me wrong. It's not perfect, but I've got a pretty good idea how these work. So now what I've done, coincidentally, David said he wanted a 1-inch pedal stroke, and I was talking to him and said, well, actually, I was currently designing a 1.4 inch because I wasn't getting a definitive answer on the fluid transfer required to disengage the clutch from McLeod. But he was convinced he only needed 1 inch, so I've redesigned the whole thing based on 1 inch cylinder travel for him. And then it struck me, let me go and have a look, see if I can find anything on the McLeod database about what the 1400 series slave cylinders, and I actually found a document I'll put here where it actually confirmed I only need 1 inch travel to get me 1/2 inch travel on the slave, which is what I need to disengage my clutch. So I realized that my whole design was wrong. I put my hand up, it's just too much cylinder travel. 1.4 inch may be okay for brake systems, but it's far in excess for the clutch, I believe, at the moment. So I've gone away and I've redesigned the whole pedal, brackets, everything, and ironically it gives me better leverage. I'll show you the adjustments over here. So here is one of the original brackets that I used to give you my pivot point. I think you can see here how much I've brought the pivot point back. And this is taken from those Jaguar XJS pedal boxes. So I got my pivot position quite wrong. And that was mainly down to the fact that if we look at the changes I've made to the actual pedal, I was using, I think it's a 70mm here between the pivot and where the clevis attaches to the master cylinder, whereas the XJS ones are all basically 2 inches, 50.8, and that's what I've gone to use now. So you can imagine the new pedal is here on top, the old one's on the bottom, sorry. You can see the new pedal is actually slightly longer because the pivot point has gone up in the vehicle, and the lever arm is shorter. So you can imagine I've gone from what was just under 4, 3.5, 4 to 1. I'm almost 6 to 1 now. So it's going to be much better to apply the clutch. And the left-hand drive, you can basically see the same. So the pedal point hasn't changed, but you can see the changes at the top. So the pivot position is up, and the clevis point, the lever, is shorter. So I'm hoping that'll give a lot better pedal feel, and obviously I won't have excess travel on my slave cylinder. I don't need the 1.4 inch. I've gone for an inch now. So looking at the assembly, you can see obviously I've had to adjust the pedal arm, the pivot point, this bracket underneath, and then the resulting cylinder position had to be tweaked slightly because this pivot point, or the clevis point, had come inboard, so I had to just tweak the angle to allow it to meet that. So all the parts have basically been completely redesigned or optimized for this new position. Next, really want to just talk about the issues we had remaining from the previous video, MT18. We had obviously the spring return to sort out, the sealing between the master cylinder and the pedal box, and the ability to use different pedal rubbers. So we resolved all those, so I'll just quickly run through them. So first of all, the spring return. With the spring return, we've added the spring here. We've actually reduced the diameter of this boss to allow the spring to compress. It was actually fouling on that previously. That was too big a diameter, and this works well now. It's just engaging just here, and it compresses against this plate here. You can see this is the right-hand drive version, so that works well. Sealing of the hole from the master cylinder through the pedal box. We actually got the idea from bicycle inner tubes. If you cut a piece of that, it's roughly the right diameter to provide a sort of curtain seal. We have found some 3mm thick rubber pipe, the right diameter, on eBay, and we've made this sort of seal. It's more of a dust seal than anything. I've got quite a large hole in here at the minute in my initial pedal box. I'm going to make that hole smaller so it will seal up better. So I think that's quite a robust solution, quite a thick rubber pipe basically butting up to the pedal box surface. So that's how we're going to seal up the hole the best we can. The interchangeable pedal feet idea. So we've actually fabricated these pedal feet that locate off two 6mm holes in a pair in both directions. But we're thinking just to actually tap the pedal itself and just screw directly to it like this. So what that does, it enables you to use any of the 3 standard Jaguar rubbers. We've got metal plates, different shapes to suit the pedal rubbers, and even these are sort of a copy Range Rover pedal foot, and that's what those are, and they look quite good, I think, and they'd be quite they've got rubber extruded through a stainless steel cover, and they're actually a rubber moulding, so they fit on very well, and they'd be basically an upgrade from a rubber pad. And you can also upgrade the accelerator from this really quite rubbishy plastic one. It's not even rubber, it's just a hard plastic. So they've upgraded that too, and I think it'll look quite good with sort of this R performance style feet. Anyway, so we've solved that problem as well. Well, there you go. That's a bit of a catch up where we are with the design and the project. So what's the next steps? Obviously, I'm going to paint my brackets, fit it to the car. I'm going to pause the conversion. I'm going to throw the whole car back together with the pedal box in, without the clutch connected and the gearbox removed, in order to record the CAN bus data for Glenn and his MCM solution. It also gives an opportunity to use the car in this summer, or at least for a few months in the summer, before I get back into the project flat out. Glenn, if you're watching, I've made you some brackets. If you want to convert your car, change your car to the 1-inch travel master cylinder, I'll get them sent off to you if you're interested. Also, I've got a box here. When I was taking the exhaust off, I wasn't keen on the centre box. I damaged the pipe. It's quite a lot of rust on these pipes. Damaged it slightly. So I've got a replacement in the box. It's an X pipe. So we're going to have a play with that this summer. So keep an eye on, there'll be a video on that coming up soon. In the meantime, there are a couple of videos we're going to do where we haven't covered about the conversion of the pedal box yet. You do have to actually modify the existing brake pedal. You don't have to change it too much, but we'll go into what we've done to modify the actual brake pedal to make it work. Anyway, you can see there's quite a few videos on the way. Hope you find it interesting, and please follow the project as it progresses. Thanks very much for watching. Please like, comment, share and subscribe for more XK videos. Bye bye.